Hello and welcome to Sonic Sorcery for another tutorial. I am Steffen Ki, your Sonic Sorcerer. And in this video, we're gonna have a look at how to create a down tempo track, a shamanic down tempo track, I should say, using only samples. And I know this is a very controversial topic in general, samples. For some reason, many people believe they have to create everything on their own, and using samples is cheating and they don't feel good using samples, or it's like just something that people feel like is not the most authentic way of making music. And in this video I want to show you that this could not be farther from the truth and why I love working with samples. And one of the reasons is that you end up using sounds that you wouldn't have used in the first place if you were to create them on your own. And what I mean by that, we will see in a bit. So what you see here is the arrangement of the track called Bobinsana, which is basically an Icaro that my partner Maywa has channeled. And she is communicating with the plant world and received this song from the Bobinsana plant, which I show you an image. Here. And let's have a listen to the track, and while we are listening I can tell a little bit about the story of the track, because it's pretty magical, as you can imagine, here at the Sonic Sorcery. And at the same time I want to talk you through like the arrangement and the workflow and show you where you can get your own samples. And just in general, I feel that working with samples is a really easy and intuitive way to come up with something, especially if you're a beginner, to create something that sounds good, that feels good, and that is still your own approach. You will see like the samples that I used, if you would use them, you would come up with something completely different. And we will have a look into that in a bit, like why I believe that working with samples is so beneficial and what's the cool thing about it. And that doesn't mean that you cannot create your own sounds. By all means, I do that a lot now also, but while I was traveling and touring and producing, like working with samples was such a time saver. All right, but now enough of the talking. Let's have a listen to this beautiful track, and I will walk you through it. So, as I said, it's called Bobinsana, and that's the name of a beautiful, beautiful plant. Looks like this. And my partner Maywa, she has been working with indigenous people, the Shipibo in Peru, with plant medicine called ayahuasca. And basically the Shipibo, they are healing with plants and with music. And they listen to nature and they receive songs and words. And my partner, working with them for 2 years in the jungle, she developed that ability as well. So she can also like tune in with nature and listen, and she's receiving words and melodies. And this singing that you can hear, she received from a plant in Guatemala, from the Bobinsana tree that was growing in the garden. And the funny thing is, or the magical thing I should say, is that while I was working on a track which was supposed to be the jingle for a podcast for a friend of mine, Maywa was receiving this song and then she was singing it to me, and I'm like, man, that's in the same key like the project that I'm working on at the moment. So in a sense you could say we were already co-creating, or like something was connecting with us and bringing it together, right? And then I was like, yeah, here, this is what I have. And I showed her some of the sounds. And then she started singing, and then bit by bit this track came together. It was really interesting for me as well, because you know what you can do in the Shipibo tradition, or like in the shamanic tradition, South America, people are dieting this plant. That means they go on a very strict diet and they eat almost nothing except this one particular plant, and they meditate a lot and stuff. And the idea is that in your dreams and in your meditations you receive guidance and teachings from the plants. And so I didn't do a Bobinsana diet, but lucky enough, when we were in Guatemala, there was a Bobinsana tea ceremony by a friend. And we went to the ceremony, and this allowed me to connect with the spirit of Bobinsana, because I felt I cannot finish this track until I have like my own connection with this plant, you know, with the spirit. And then after the ceremony, which was really interesting, I really felt like I was in this kind of dream state. And the spirit of the plant was like a little child, and it was running with me through the jungle, through the forest, and was very joyful and was saying like, yeah, you know, life is about having fun, and look at all this beautiful stuff and smell all the beautiful smells, like the perfume of nature. And yeah, that's also what kind of the song is about. Like it's in Shipibo, like in the traditional Peruvian indigenous language. And yeah, and then I felt the connection, and this is how we could make the track, you know. And I think it's really remarkable how, you know, when you are open to receive and to tune in, that there are like spirits, you know, that want to work with you and you know, convey their message. So basically this whole song, this track is about realizing the beauty of nature. And Maywa is singing about the perfume of the plants and how they can enchant us and how they can make us realize our own beauty. You know, all that beautiful stuff is within this track. And you can see like the arrangement, right? I have those markers here. So right now we are like in the second drop. And maybe I stop this here for now. So that was pretty much the story about this beautiful track. And now if we have a look into the session view, this is always where I start working. I always start in the session view, and I always start with the pad. All right. So, you know, if we solo the pad here. So this is called Chill Pad, and this is in one of the sample packs that I have, or like let's say this can be found on Loopcloud. Right, so this is how it sounds. And I always start with the pad because I create from an emotion, you know. There's some people who create from a movement. They use the beat first and they create like the bass line and the beat, and they have the groove, and that, you know, inspires them, and then they create all this stuff. I always start with the pad because instantly it sets a certain mood, right? So I have the pad, and the next thing I would add is the ambient sounds. So now here we have like the birds, right? So this would be the foundation, how I would start a track with the pad, and then I would see, okay, so what else can we add? And the thing is, now, you know, this is in C. The track ended up being in the key of C minor in the end. And so, you know, when you look for new sounds or samples, then you have to make sure that they are in the same key. Otherwise, it will be kind of disharmonic. So let's see what else we have here. The melodies. Oh, we have another pad called Sweet Pad. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, nice. And then we can add those chords here. Right, so it's like very dreamy, very magical, like this kind of vibe, you know, that I perceived being on this journey with the Bob Insana spirit, rocking through the forest. And then, of course, the flute. And the flute was what I had in the jingle for the podcast. And let's see what we have here, another pad. Yeah, so that's basically the foundation, and then I just added a beat. And a bass line. And some percussions. And this is basically what I gave Maywa, my partner, to record. And then she... where are the vocals? Ah, yeah, here. And then she basically recorded, you know, all those takes. And I was just like sorting them, you know, like if you, for instance, like those are the words in Shipibo, you know, and I was chopping everything up so that I knew I had these different sections. And also I asked her what it means, you know, like the translation. So I was like writing down all the words. And you can see there's a lot of takes. And then there's some additional vocals like this one's here. You know, and I added some notes here. Variation, up and down, good before the break. You know, just because if there's a lot of different takes, then I want to know like which parts are good for what section in the track, in the arrangement, right? So, and then there's more sounds, and the approach basically would be that once you have something, you know, like this pad, for instance. Let's go back to the pad only. Oh, that's another one. See, that's an A, that's not fitting. That's what's about this one. Yeah, they didn't end up making it into the track, but I'm always selecting, you know. And the cool thing about the session view is that you can really jam around. So now we have this chill pad, and now I show you something really cool where you can get your samples, because back in the days, you know, we had to buy sample packs, and then there were maybe 10 sounds that we liked and the rest was crap. And then you had like all those samples. But now there's something way cooler, and it's called Loopcloud. And this is the website. You go to loopcloud.com, and then what you need to do is you need to download an app and a plugin. But look how cool that is. So that is how the app... Oh, no, that's not. That's my mixer. That is how the app looks like. And you know, like you have like your library, and here's like millions of sounds. And you know, like you can look for genres, you can look for formats, you can check for key and BPM. It's really cool, and you can like find your sound that you're looking for, right? So if I look like, for instance, for labels, which are like sample labels, I really like, for instance, the organic tones, organic loops. I can go here and I can check, wow, ethnic woodwind. Let's check this out. Right, and let's see if they have a flute in D minor. Close enough. So let's see how that sounds, the panpipe here. Ah yeah, we cannot hear it yet because we have to go back to Ableton and solo this. So now we have this amazing opportunity to have this plugin here. And what it does, it is bringing the sound from the app that you're listening to online into your project. So let's also put in the drums here. And then let's see how that sounds. And maybe we need to pitch it down to semitones. So now we are kind of in C minor. Here's a C sharp. Let's try this one, this in C. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, for instance, you like this sound, and the cool thing is you can see it's already adjusted the BPM, right? It's connected to Ableton. You can see like the DAW connected to is Ableton Live. So I can listen to those sounds in my project here. And if I like a sound, you know, I can use some of my credits, which I get like, you know, you pay like monthly certain amount, I think $7 or something, and then you get an amount of points. And now if I like it, I can like buy the file, you know, like I'm buying the sound now. Okay, there was an error, why? Oh, that's interesting. Ah, okay, they want me to subscribe again because I stopped the subscription. Okay, but basically what you can do is, you know, if you like it, you can just buy it. Let's see, maybe the ones that I have, maybe it's still there. Yeah, see, like this one, I bought it, and now what you can do is like you can download the high quality file. Now it's downloading, and now I can take the original or the process one, right? I could change the pitch, and then it would be the process one. So let's see, now it's in G minor, but we want it to be in C minor, so it's G sharp, A, B, B flat, C. Right now you can hear it's in C minor. And now we can take the processed sound, I drag it, and then we can drop it here right in Ableton. So let me find a good spot, maybe here, right? So now we can see I have the file from the loop library ready in my project. How cool is that? So yeah, this is basically how I came up with all those sounds, right? And that is the cool thing in general with samples. You know, you end up using sounds that you would have never thought you would use. For instance, with me here with this arpeggiator, which sounds kind of like psychedelic trance or Goa. But I was looking for sounds in C minor. You know, and I really like it. And many people will say like, yeah, you know, like using samples is like cheating, but I also produce sample packs, you know, and there's people sitting in the studio creating all this stuff with the hope and wish that people will use it to create their own things, you know. So samples are made for you to use them. That's the whole reason. And I find it really inspiring, and I find it really like time saving. And as I said, for me, it's more like kind of like a patchwork approach. You know, like I see each of those samples as little patches, and then I weave a magic sound carpet out of them. So I believe using samples is amazing because, especially these days, you know, like with stuff like Loopcloud, it's like, for instance, here's Afro beats, right? So you can just go all across all genres, you know, and find whatever you're looking for, and just take it and create your own things out of it, you know, because you can still totally adjust it. So let's see how that sounds. Maybe we add this beat in as well. Yeah, nice. Bass sound. Yeah. I mean, I cannot buy this right now, right? Because I'm not subscribed at the moment. But you get the idea, right? So basically what I would suggest you and recommend you is that you find your own sounds, you know, and you put it into session view and you start jamming. And once you start jamming and you know, like I would listen to all those sounds together and see what fits. So like, for instance, this one, right? It all fits together. And then while playing and jamming with those samples, I get a feeling for the arrangement. So I would play hours and hours, try out different combinations, you know, really put in the bass drum here, add some percussions. Right? And that feels pretty complete to me. You know, like all those cool ARP melodies. I mean, it's amazing, you know, it sounds great. And I would have never like thought like, oh yeah, I need an ARP that I want to program in my synth. I mean, of course I could do that, you know, but this particular sound, this particular energy just fits perfectly. And I think it's its own magical process, you know. For me, it's like alchemy or like cooking, you know, like you have all those ingredients from all over the world and you can create something unique with it. And it's a totally different approach. It's less heady. I feel it's very intuitive, and I'm all about intuitive processes and creations. So that's how I ended up creating this beautiful track, which we're gonna have a look at now at the arrangement. So I collected all those elements until I felt, okay, now I have enough. We recorded the vocals, and then let's look at the arrangement and go step by step. So as you can see from the structure, right, I'm working in steps of 16 bars pretty much for major changes. Like there's a theme here. Maybe that's 32, like 2 times 16, you know, and then there's like 16 again. So the arrangement follows a rule. And basically the idea is to create tension and release and always play with intensity, you know, like if you could see like this as a expression of energy or like a wave, you know, like it's going up and down, and we start slow and then we bring it to like a peak and then we build it down again, we break, we give a little time to breathe, and then we go up again, build it up, and then we build it down, and then there's the outro, right? So it's a very dynamic kind of like wave flow. And yeah, so let's start with the intro, you know, like the intro is very simple, just some ambience and some, yeah, let's hear it. A pad probably. Oh no, it's just the ambient. So at the beginning of the track, and there's the flute, I like, you know, to give people some time and space for orientation, but already set the scene, so to say, right? So like we feel like we are in nature, we are in the jungle or something. And the flute is already indicating this kind of mellow vibe and this meditative tranquilo vibe. Right, and then we have the transition sound for the drop and the vocals. And now, kind of funny, right? Usually you would have the drop, like anticipate that the beat starts here, but I did it on purpose. Sometimes I like to play with expectations to make it a little more interesting, because as I said, most tracks, or like intuitively, you would expect after 16 bars to change something, or like that the beat drops, but it just the bass drops here, the bass, and then we have the beat coming in. So right, and now just 2 bars later we have the first beat coming in. So this is, you know, what I call drop. We have the drums here, and you see like I have this transition sounds just in between the different sections, right? So we have the shakers here, her vocals, the first pad, the sweet pad, and then chord here. And over time, as I'm building up, I'm adding more and more elements, and it's almost like an exponential growth. It's like adding more percussions and more melodies, you know, like really developing the track and increasing the energy. Right, so now new keys are coming in, new melodies, a tambourine, here's more percussions even, her vocals. And look, all those little filling sounds, you know, it's all about the details that make it like really magical. Chill pad. Right, and now the track is on its peak, like full going, all the percussions, all the melodies. And now that we reached the peak, we're gonna go to the build down. Right? Another transition sound was here, the chords. And now we're taking out some of the momentum, some of the energy. And we're preparing for the breakdown, which means we gonna get rid of most of the elements. We really strip it down to give a moment of breathing, but also to create tension, you know, because we really love the bass and the beat and everything. And if that's missing, then we create tension, and we want the resolution by it coming back. But what I love about the break is you can introduce something completely new. I see it as a sacred space in the track, because you can really go full ambient, and you know, and it's the sacred pause. Yeah, and then I have this Spanish guitar, another thing that I would have never played in myself, you know, but it's just like those snippets from a guitar sample, and I really love it. Now we're building up, right? So we had the first transition, we're adding percussion sounds. And then what I really like in my arrangement is after the break, having a B section, so something completely new, like changing the dynamics, changing the elements, and this is where the arpeggiator comes in, like this sound here. So now like we're building up and dropping. You're like indicating. Right, and now I have a real kick. Like before I was just like broken drums, and now we have a straight kick, which also creates more dynamic and more energy in the second part. Right, those groovy hi-hats. And here we have a little snare fill as a transition, and then we bring in new beats, and now comes the arpeggiated sound here. Which I think is perfect, you know, like creates this beautiful, dreamy, swirly sensation, and really gives the track in like another layer, like another depth. Yeah, and that was kind of the peak section in the peak moment in the B section, and then we just, you know, reduce it again. We take out elements more and more, taking out percussions and just simplifying the track again to make space for something new. For instance, if there would be like in a DJ set, then you want to make space so that the new track can be mixed in. But also just bringing this journey to an end, you know, and I really love it gradual, like subtle, seamless transitions. Yeah, and then it's just the pad and the beat. And then we go back to the slow beat from the beginning, the book ending. Just the bass and the beat, so now you could mix in a new track. Yeah, and then fading out. Yeah, and that's the track. I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough of the track Bob Insana, which got released in 2018, I think. And yeah, I hope you are encouraged, you know, to work with samples, use Loopcloud, for instance, you know, and get really creative. And don't feel ashamed for using samples. You know, I think it's an amazing opportunity to come up with something unique. And even if you give the same samples to the same people, everybody will create something unique. I always experience that with my template, you know, people who buy my template and who build tracks with them. Each track is so unique. Of course, you can recognize the sounds, you know, but it's not just about the sounds. You put your essence in there, you put your soul in there, and your vibration is echoing through the tracks, and that's so unique, you know, and people will feel it. And I feel that even if it's the same sound, it's a different identity every time with every producer. You put your own energy in there, your own essence and your own soul, and that's what it's all about, really. You know, it's not about the sound so much; it's about your essence. And if you can put your essence in the track, then people can feel that, and then this is where the magic happens. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye. I hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making the video. And if you are new to music production and you would like some support, or just in general you're looking for a community of fellow sonic Merlins that are supporting each other and empowering each other to create magic with sound, you might want to check out our Academy for Sonic Sorcery. There's different tiers with which you can join. With as little as $5 per month, you can join our weekly online meetings and our Telegram group, where we give feedback to our projects, where we can ask questions if we feel stuck, and just in general share everything related to sound healing and meditation music and everything that we come across that we think might be of interest to the members. And then as you go higher as an adept and mage, you will be able to download my ABLETON projects, and you get discount in my online store for the products that I'm offering, like templates and loops and stuff. And as a mage, you will also get all the benefits and a 90-minute monthly personal private class with me, like online coaching. So if that is something that you resonate with, if you feel the call, we are super happy to welcome you. At the moment, we are 9 members and growing. And yeah, we would love to see you there to co-create some magical stuff together. And in the next days, you will see some of the beautiful things that already have been created within the Academy. I'm so excited to share like breathwork journeys and shamanic downtempo tracks and meditation music, all beautiful things that have been created within the Academy, and we will show you some of it, and my students will break down the process in a video for you. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, simsalabim, and see you in the next video.